Have you ever felt like something was off about him, but you just can't prove it? Here are three telltale signs that he may not be who you think that he is. There are some single professional ladies who may dismiss these things, but they totally add up to prove who he could be. Hi, my name is Erica J. Holston, better known as Coach Honeylove. I help successful and professional single ladies date with a purpose, to manage their emotions, and date marriage minded men. In this video, we are going to discuss three ways to know that a man is pretending. So let's go ahead and get into it. When I help single ladies and we talk about who a man is, what is he trying to do with them? And how is it that he shows up on dates? A lot of times, single ladies share that they don't know if what a man says or does is the real him. Now, when it comes to dating, there are some men who show their representative. This is the man that wants to put his best foot forward, but then he's showing up in his inauthentic self. Inauthentic means that's not who he really is, but that's who he wants some single ladies to believe that he is, right? So he may know what to do, how to do it, and you may feel like he could be someone that you can get along with, but something about him feels off. And in this case, there are some single ladies who are very cautious about getting involved with a man that they do not know if he is authentic or not. So when it comes to dating, dating can be difficult. Dating can be challenging. But if you have the right dating tools when it comes to your dating journey, you can actually see some momentum with an authentic connection with a man who doesn't show you his representative, but he comes with his authentic self. And it is very disheartening that some men show their representative. It is disheartening to know that some men want to pretend just to see who he can get or what he can get from a woman. And that is not okay. When you are dating with a purpose, you want to make sure that a man shows up in the way that you truly desire, but you want to have conversations. You want him to be consistent. You want him to show up again in his authentic self. But today we are going to talk about telltale signs that could be small, but they totally add up. We are going to be talking about how to know a man is pretending. So, these are going to be some things that you are going to want to watch out for. These are going to be things that you don't want to sweep under the rug. These are going to be things that you want to see as red flags until he can actually prove who he says that he is to you, right? So if he is inauthentic, these are the telltale signs. So number one is that his stories keep changing. So one day he says that this is how he grew up, and then 3 days later he may shift the story a little bit and it doesn't quite add up. So when things don't add up over time, and you know that feeling that you get when your ears perk up or something just feels off in your spirit, and with it feeling off in your spirit, do not ignore that sign. So if his stories start to become inconsistent, if his stories seem not to add up, that is going to be a total problem. This is a total red flag. So when I help single ladies overcome their dating challenges and they break up with the guy after 3 months or 6 months. When we talk about were there any red flags before you had broke up? Were there any red flags that could have actually showed you who he was? And 9 times out of 10, single ladies share with me that those red flags were there, but they didn't want to pay it any attention because they were getting attention from him, or in that space of their lives, they were vulnerable, or in that space in their lives, they just wanted to have company. When the red signs are there, I'm going to share with you, do not dismiss them, do not place them under the rug, but really pay attention. And I'm just going to share with you, it is better to leave a red flag man sooner rather than later. So let's get it back into if his stories do not add up over time. The other part of it is that if there is some confusion, right? So if he tells you one thing and then a week later he says something else and it seems far off of what he said, and you ask him a question and you say, hey, when you had shared this with me and now you're saying this, can you clarify that? So anytime that you feel that there is some type of confusion, it is good for you to actually ask him, okay, can you clear this up? There's nothing wrong with being a firm woman as well as a woman who is able to ask a man a question just to get some clarity. So if you are confused at any point, because when it comes to dating and you are able to assess who a man is, you want to make sure that he is as truthful as he needs to be. You want to make sure that he is showing up authentically. But if at any point you feel confused, girl, it is time to hit the pause button. It is time to have a conversation so you can understand the type of man that you are truly dealing with, okay? Because when a marriage minded man comes into your life, he should be able to provide you with clarity. There's not going to be much confusion. There is going to be clarity. There's going to be a reassurance. When a man can reassure you, when a man can show up in his authentic self, when a man can make you feel like you are making a good decision and you know that he is not pretending, you know that he is not showing you his representative, but he is actually showing up as the man that you would want to get to know, that you can possibly see a future with. It is such a beautiful thing. So, if a man is pretending, this is one of the signs, and that is when his stories keep on changing, right? Tip number two is that he avoids verifying specifics. If you ask him questions, he only wants to give you general statements. And with those general statements, especially for my women who like to talk, especially for the women who like to have a friendship within their dating experience where a man values friendship, a man values communication. A man values emotional intelligence. So when you talk with the man, and if he's not able to provide you with specifics where, you want specifics so you can connect with him, you want specifics so you can actually like see his story, not only hear his story, but you can actually see his story as far as who he is as a man. So if he's vague about work, if he's vague about places, if he's vague about people in his life, and you know people, you have been around people to know that some people are able to provide you with specifications. So if a man is not able to provide you with specifications, chances are is that he's giving you vague responses so he can actually keep on pretending. He's giving you vague responses because those are the things that he can actually remember. Just think about it. When someone shares with you about who they are, when someone shares with you about how they feel about certain things, there are specifications. And if that person is truthful at any given time, you will be able to ask questions and they will be able to recall. But when a man is pretending, when a man is showing up as his representative, he's going to want to be as vague as possible or give you general responses so he can remember the lies. When a marriage minded man comes into your life, he's going to possibly, be cautious a little bit till he gets to know you. But once he gets to know you, he's going to be an open book. When a man is able to be an open book because of how you make him feel with your essence, when a man is able to open up to you because of the connection and how much you guys have in common, these are things that are irreplaceable. These are things that are totally authentic. So when a couple is able to be authentic with each other, it feels like you get him and he gets you. And that is such a beautiful thing. And a lot of times when a woman is able to be with a man where he's able to make her feel like he gets her and she's able to feel that he gets her and you get, you know what I mean? When that happens, it's like, oh wow, I could possibly have a love connection with a man that knows how to treat me, right? So be on the lookout when a man gives you vague responses. Be on the lookout when a man gives you generalized responses because a man is able to remember the lies when he is pretending. The other part is that if you ask him follow-up questions about things that you are curious about, especially the ladies who are talkers, when you follow up with the man about things that you are curious about and he just gives you vague responses, he knows that you're asking follow up questions because you want to know more. He knows that you are asking him follow up questions because what he said wasn't quite enough for you, especially with you wanting to get to know him. So when a man is just giving you vague and generalized responses, be on the lookout because if you are a woman and you want to have a love connection with someone, if you are a woman and you want to feel like the man that you are dating, how to know that he is your future husband is when you feel like you guys have been friends forever or you guys can talk for a very long time. When you are able to have that type of connection and you can sense truthfulness, you can sense consistency, and over time, it actually proves who he is because he's showing up authentically. He is not pretending and he is not showing you his representative. So I just want to share with you when a man is pretending, take that as a red flag. If there are specific things that you are specifically looking for, you have those specifications for a reason. You have those specifications because they align with your dating standards. And if a man says to you, this is too much, you ask too many questions, why do you need to follow up about this? Why do you need to follow up about that? And if he starts to get offended, you may need to take a pause and to ask yourself, is this the type of communication that you want with a man that you are truly trying to get to know, right? And so this leads me to tip number three is that let's say that you guys get to the point to where you ask, are you on social media? So he could be either on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, or he may not be on social media at all. However, if he's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, you may ask him, so which one of these platforms are you on? Do you share personal things or is it all about business, right? So if he shares some personal things and you want to see who he is and you ask him for his handle, and let's say that you guys have, certain conversations. Let's say that he tells you that he loves to travel the world. And when you go to his social media handle, you don't see any type of traveling pics. You don't see any types of the places or the designations that he's been. But yet he tells you that he loves to travel. Or if he says to you, like he's part of an organization, or if he says to you that he loves his kids, and if he's not too of a private person and he shares things online, that his online presence should match up with what he says, right? And so the other part is that if he tells you that he is single, right, and you look on his social media, and if he has pictures with all kinds of women that aren't necessarily like part of an organization, but his body language of taking pictures with women seems a little bit too friendly for you, that when you date a single man, there are certain pictures that's going to be on his social media where if he is taking a picture with another woman, it may be like his cousin or his sister, and you can tell the body language between the two that they are related to each other. But you won't see another woman, as far as a woman that he is dating. You won't see a woman on there that like could be like his ex-wife or something, because he's going to take those type of social media pictures off, because if he's single, his pictures should show that he is single. If he's single, that his post should show that he is single. So if he tells you that he has a certain lifestyle, if he tells you that he likes to do certain things, but you don't see anything on there that he likes to do those things, right? If his social media presence is not quite adding up for you, chances are this man could actually be pretending. And I just want to say this is that there are men who, are honest. There are men who show up authentically. And when you see them, that is the person that they are. There are a lot of men that can be liars and pretenders and showing you their representative. But I just want to reassure you that there are men who actually live their life out loud, in the sense of they are honest and transparent, and their social media presence actually matches who they are. So as far as a man's social media presence not being aligned with who he is, when you look on his social media, it feels incomplete. And you just get a sense that, he's really not being authentic. When you talk to him, you feel like you are pulling teeth. When you talk to him and you ask him questions, oh, well, tell me about this picture or tell me about this post, and he's not responsive to what it is that you're asking him. Well, that could be something that you may need to talk about. And then if you want to become Facebook friends and, or LinkedIn professionals or Instagram friends, and, you interact with him on his post, he interacts with you on your post. You're able to see his stories, he's able to see your stories. And if it's a friendly match, well, you can actually enjoy each other as far as talking on the phone, as far as your social media posts, and really like getting to know each other. But if at any point you feel like he is pretending, if at any point you get a sense of he's not who he says that he is, or things feel incomplete to you, that those small telltale signs could mean that he is pretending and he is not who he says that he is. Now, I'm not telling you to question a man and everything it is that he does. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that you should be able to talk about certain things, right? If things are innocent, if things are forthcoming, if things are truthful, you should be able to, talk to a man and just to see like who he is, right? So social media is definitely a place and a thing that can actually show you who a man is, right? And so if, you want to know who a man is, definitely, check him out on social media. And when you check him out on social media, like really just, search yourself and really like see how his post makes you feel. Really see the vibe that he is giving you on social media. So if things feel incomplete, if things feel off, chances are they can actually be off. And then here's the other thing is when you talk to him, if you feel like you get one version, but on social media he is a different version of himself, that's something you should definitely be able to talk about as well. So I'm not saying for you to interrogate a man. I'm not saying for you to question a man. But if you are able to have authentic, in depth conversations with a man about the version of who he is, and for you to want to see if he is actually pretending as to who he is, like those things are definitely going to be important. So I would love to see you go out on dates with men who don't pretend. I just wanted to come on here and to share with you three telltale signs that a man is pretending. And so if a man is pretending, that's not cool. If a man is pretending, that's a red flag. And if you continue to have certain conversations and things are not adding up, please do not dismiss them. It may be time for you to take a pause and for you to evaluate if this is the type of dating experience that you truly want to experience. I just want to share with you that there could be a better man out there for you. There could be a better man that God wants to send you into your life, as far as a man who is truly aligned with your values and who wants to get to know you, who wants to be marriage minded, who wants to be authentic with you, whose social media presence actually matches with the guy that you are talking to on the phone and going out on dates. When you are in his presence and when you look at his social media presence, they align with each other. When you talk with each other, things are able to be verified, and there's a certain level of a consistency that just makes you feel like you guys have known each other for a very long time. And there are green flags and there are not red flags. And then to top it off, His stories match up. His stories is aligned with who he is, what he represents, and he'll say things to you like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to show up for you, and I'm here. And so these are the types of things that marriage minded men say to women that they really want to get to know. And over time, you'll be able to see that he is truly who he says that he is. So, if you are a successful and professional single woman who is looking for additional dating support on your dating journey and you want to know more about when a man is pretending, you want to know more about when a man shows you red flags, and you want to have dating strategies so you don't fall into dating a man who shows you all kinds of red flags, and you want to get the dating confidence to start dating a marriage minded man that knows how to treat you like a lady, who knows how to be chivalrous, and who knows how to court you for real this time. If this is something that you are truly interested in, join Honey Love Dating Academy today. This is a place where you are able to get dating confidence, the support, and you are able to see how a man is truly supposed to treat you. Again, my name is Erica Joan Holston. I am better known as Coach Honey Love. I love helping successful and professional single women date with the intention of being dated by a man who knows how to treat them like a lady. My motto is date like a lady and think like a wife. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, take care.